Today we're going to look at how to prepare a 3D model for 3D printing. The first step is to find a 3D model. Either create one yourself or download it. Thingiverse is a popular website for sharing 3D models. So let's come here and see one of their current collections is a Braille set. So let's grab one of these models, this 20-sided die, and go ahead and download it. And we're downloading this STL file format. That's the standard format for all 3D printers. So we'll go ahead and open it, and it opens into this program called Repetier Host. So what we need to do with this 3D model, let's take a look at it, and then figure out how do we want to position it on the plate, and do we want to rescale it. So in the center of the plate is probably a good bet, and then it doesn't really need to be scaled. Sometimes you'll need to scale a model down to make it fit in your print area, and sometimes you'll need to scale it up. Some models are created with inches as the scale, so you'll need to, they'll come out looking incredibly tiny, and you need to scale them up because Repetier works on millimeters instead of inches. So then what we go over here, we'll go to the Slicer tab, and you'll need to select your slicer settings. So you should look on your, whoever your printer is manufactured by, they'll give you a set of default profiles for the slicer, so you can go ahead and input that data and then select which ones you want. I've created a number of different profiles here for whether I want draft coarse models that print quickly. This is 0.3 millimeters layer heights, or fine, which is 0.1. And then I have special profiles for different materials like PET or flexible filament that require special handling. So we're going to go ahead and stick with coarse because I don't want this print to take too long. I only have one set of printer settings. It's recommended by the manufacturer, and I don't change it. And then for every filament you have, you'll have to have a different profile because they'll all have slightly different ideal melting temperatures, and they'll all have slightly different diameters, and you'll need to measure those very precisely to get good prints. So you'll select out of these three the profile that you want to slice with, and then hit the big Slice with Slicer button. And it will generate a toolpath for the printer. You can see in this little console down here, it's actually reporting back on its progress as it goes through the slicing progress. A more complicated model can take a very long time. This is a pretty simple model. It says it took 10 seconds. That's not too long. So what we do now is take a look at this rendered G-code. So this actually shows us, you can see each individual layer drawn out here, and that tells you what the computer is going to tell the printer to do. Sometimes you'll have models that are incorrect. They have bad geometries, and they'll end up with big holes, missing parts of the model here. And then if you hit print, it's not going to print correctly because it's only doing as it's told, but what it's being told to do is incorrect. So inspecting the G-code here gives you a chance to make sure that that's correct. So if you're using Repetier Host to drive your printer, at this point you can just hit the run button and it will send the commands to your printer automatically. If you're using other software, for example, I'm using Octoprint, I would save the model, and it saves as a G-code file. That's actually this text over here is the raw G-code. And then I just save it and upload that file to the Octopi server and hit print from there. And that's it.